Here we go.
Welcome to the P2 Power Play Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Wilson, alongside...
With Thiago Cucci. Season 2. Blackout again.
Keep going till Season 3. Yes, colors on Season 3.
Let's do it. Before we start, let's start with the closed captions.
Closed captions.
Ok? So, português. Se vocês quiserem assistir em português, troca no ajustes e coloca tradução. Ok, em português. Se tu quieres en español, tú puedes cambiar en ajustes y autotraducción. Yo siempre me olvido de eso. Autotraducción y pone español. Tú puedes tener lo caption abajo mirando eso. Yeah. If you want to watch in English, Kyle, what they need to do?
Nothing.
Enjoy the show.
Yeah, enjoy the show.
That's it.
So, before we do, you want to do the sponsors too while we're sitting here?
Sponsors, yeah. So, High Soccer Academy, thank you so much. High Soccer Arena, thank you so much. High Soccer Prospects, thank you so much. So, we are podcast neutral, but we got to say thank you for
the sponsors.
The sponsors that help us out. Maris, you guys still owe us a lunch, so we probably go there today.
Today, after.
Mercedes-Benz, we are waiting for you guys on this show, but
need the G-Wagon?
Yeah, the G-Wagon. We need the G-Wagon for sure. And we have here a
special guest. Going to talk about basically mortgages and insurance. And personally, I can tell you with 1,000,000,000%, I'm going to learn a lot today.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to absolutely kill this one. So let's go ahead and welcome our guest, Brianna.
Hey. Del Valle. Thank you so much for coming, Brianna.
Thank you guys for inviting me.
After a few months trying, we finally did.
Probably partly our fault because I started the conversation and then let it go, and then you followed back up, and here we are. So
but thank you.
The point is that we're here at the table today. That is what matters.
Yeah. That's it.
Thank you so much, Brianna. She's just 27 years old.
27.
She owns a business that she takes care of loans and insurance. Can you talk more about that?
Yes. So I originally got into the industry. I grew up in the industry starting. So my parents have the background of insurance, real estate, mortgages, and they did this pre-2008. And once 2008 happened and they had that huge market crash and market correction, they started maneuvering a few things around and started focusing heavily on the insurance, right? So I've been growing up in this industry, in both of these industries, my entire life. My adult life, I focused very heavily on the insurance side. And then, started leading more into the market of real estate because there's just so much level of room and opportunity there that honestly, just even from a learning standpoint, it's just extremely necessary today. So there's no better experience than your own experience, right? So I wanted to go in there and fully understand what was going to be the role that I was going to play. And since I have a background in education already, that becomes my number one thing. I want to learn for myself so that I'm better able to educate, guide, and lead other people. So that was like my main focus, what I wanted to do. And just along the way, you get to meet a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds. And, today everybody's just trying to keep up with this market, right? Yeah. What's happening today?
Way to put it. Yeah.
What's going to be the move? I'm not really sure. Is now the time to go? Now's
not
not the
questions
time to go, right? But one thing I will say, and all the time that it's taking you to figure out what is it that you're going to do, a lot of people have already did the action of, I'm just going to go ahead and move forward with this, or let's just see what the opportunity is. So I'm just grateful that I get to be in that opportunity, that position where, I'm able to help people on the education side, sitting down and, one thing is that everybody is different, right? Everybody's financial situation, their home situation is completely different. So, you could have a list of criteria, but honestly, when you're sitting down with somebody, it all looks different. Recommendations look different. Waiting time looks different. Opportunity, what's open and available for you looks different. So it's exciting. It's definitely exciting time.
So let me start with a question. I know Kai has a lot of questions like why... Oh, what?
Go ahead. Start.
Yeah, why real estate, not stocks?
To be honest, real estate is something that is a little bit more easier for people to comprehend, right? I mean, American dream-wise, a lot of people want that home. My dream is that I'm going to one day have a home. And stocks, there's a lot of volatility there, right? And so a lot of people are very, very like, I don't know if I want to go ahead and invest in stocks so much. Now, I'm not going to say it's a bad thing. I'm a firm believer in having a diverse portfolio, right? And depending on what your age is, we'll say, you know, where is it that I'm going to keep my money? You know, there's 3 different types of markets. You have a fixed market, right, which are your safe investments, super safe investments. You're not losing, but you're definitely not gaining anything, right? It's like your savings accounts that's giving you like less than 0.5%.
1.5 in a year.
Which is like, to me, almost borderline like disrespectful today. It's like, seriously? And then you're going to charge me like an account fee or whatever it is that they have. It's
monthly
like,
service,
right. And so it's like you have those investments completely safe, complete peace of mind, but no growth. And today, if you're not outpacing inflation, you're actually, the value of your money is going down. Right? And then you have your index environment. These are the environments that, you know, would be considered safe investing. Okay. So this is money that you can put away. You're going to get some growth, not complete growth like what the market is doing, but you're not going to lose anything either. So it's like your happy medium place. And then you have your variable market. All right. That's like full volatility, what the market is doing. The thing about that type of a market is that it's extreme upkeep. That's why there's such things as account managers.
High maintenance.
Like that. 1,000%. 1,000%. And so you're going to have to be managing. And it's not just looking like, oh, what do the stocks look like today? You have to understand politics. You have to understand foreign national affairs. You have to understand a whole bunch of different things that's going to affect your money down the line. Because somehow, cohesively, they all come together. So real estate was just that opportunity for me. I love people. I love making people happy. I love helping people. And then that just felt like something that was going to be very rewarding. I grew up in that environment already, and just helping people navigate what's going to be, you know, how do I get into that home? How
find their dream home.
Right. How do I start my family future by having a home or investing in real estate and stuff like that? So that just kind of felt like, for me, what was going to be the best fit.
That was good, Chilcito. That was good for.
I would say the other thing, and I don't know if this is correct or not, but just off the top of my head would be, you know, a house or real estate is, you can see it. It's in front of you. So you know there's a reward to get it. Where you do a stock, you just see a number and it goes like this.
You got to be having like more aggressive portfolio. You know?
1,000%.
If you're more aggressive.
But that depends on your age too, right? So take this into consideration. The younger you are, the more
risk you can take.
The more risk that you can take, ultimately. Like, you can put a lot more money into stocks because the idea is that you have time to make up whatever you lost.
So I'm getting old.
Right?
Because
So
I did a promise for myself. I'm like, I'm not going to invest in stock anymore.
You can. No, honestly, you know what? I don't think that is 100%. You can totally invest in the stock, just maybe not as much as you were before. It's a gamble, right?
Tell her your strategy, and I think that's why I'm laughing, because the strategy he did was hysterical.
But it's good. It worked.
Let's see it.
Let's see the correction.
Tell the strategy.
My strategy is getting loans.
Okay.
With probably 5-6% interest a year.
Right.
And I used to get like 20-25% in a year with stocks.
Okay.
So that was my strategy, but didn't
then,
work. Last year didn't work. I had the dip of 25%. So but until then it was working for the past 3 years was good. Yeah. But it's terrible. Now I want real estate. So that's why you're here as well. So I want to be more calm. You know, my cardiologist said, hey, Thiago, you have stocks. And I'm like, yes, 6 apps.
Oh,
we're like, delete everything, sell everything, and buy houses.
Yeah.
So this is why you are here. You're going to help us out.
It's still, there's volatility in that market as well. It just hurts a little less, you know, but
way less.
A little bit, right? So, but that's the point of the market. That's the point of the variable market, is that you're going to have times where you're riding that wave and it feels so good, and you see the end goal and you know what you're going to do. And while you're still up there dreaming about what you're going to get, the stocks, you woke up the next day, the stocks crash.
It's like Bitcoins. The guys were like, buy Bitcoins right now, $62,000.
I saw that,
and now it's 20, it's 19.
You know what's funny actually about that is that a lot of that is actually Even not, it's marketing. It's like, everybody go buy Bitcoin. Look what this guy did. But it shoots right up, right? And the second everybody gets it, comes right down. Right. Dogecoin, all of it is the same
Shiba had
kind
like
of,
4 million Shibas. I was like, I'm always feeling rich.
Right. But honestly, by the time it leaks down to you and everybody sees it, you're like, it's already reached its peak. And you're getting in at the peak time.
Yeah.
Too late.
Right.
Yeah, too late. But now we're going to change the strategy, and we are here to ask you. We want to buy a house with no money. How does it work?
Okay, no money.
Let's do the magic.
So since 2008, a lot of lending regulations have actually tightened up a little bit because that was the reason that the market crashed, right? They were super, super lenient on lending regulations. They gave a house to anybody and everybody, including the people that shouldn't have houses, which is why you have foreclosures, which is why you have people that bought $600,000 houses with a $30,000 income, and it's bankruptcy, foreclosures, and that just created a huge mess, right? So you can't have no income. You have to have income coming in from somewhere. Yep. And so usually a lot of lenders are looking in the past 2 years of where your income is coming
tax
from.
Return.
Right.
So what is the average home price in Florida, like in Orlando?
Oh,
about 400?
Yeah, about 400 now.
Oh my goodness!
Right.
Last research was 300.
Right.
I think it's crazy. Okay, so with 400,000, let's be realistic in Orlando scenario. How much money we need to have to buy a $400,000 house?
Are you talking down payment? Or are you talking
everything? Like for example,
okay, down payment today on a conventional loan is about 3%.
3%. So it's
3.5%.
It's $12,000. Yeah.
Right.
I'm good with the math.
A lot of people. The misconception is a lot of people are thinking that it's 20%. That they need 20% to put down. You don't. You don't need to put down that kind of money, but you do need to have the income for sure because that's what people look at. That's what lenders are looking at.
So 3%. I need to have $12,000.
3.5%. Yeah.
3.5. But I do have papers. But let's pretend the people that is watching us, I don't have papers.
Right.
Can I do 3.5?
No, so it is going to be a little bit different. Okay, if you're going into a loan where you're providing less information, your interest rate is going to go up. The requirements are going to go up. All of those things play a factor. There's different types of loans. You can do bank statement loans that don't actually require, for you to show your 2-year income. You just need to show where the money's coming from, right? Yeah. But again, your interest is going to go up, what you're paying in your
I believe
interest.
I paid 25% on my first house because I didn't have the papers by the time, 8 years ago. It's around that, 20 to 25?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, still. And this depends on the lender. We're waiting for a few things to come back, but right now you're looking at probably around the 18, like around that mark. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Yeah. So, but let's come back to this.
And because that includes credit score. Right? So a lot of people too, depending on what your credit score is, that's going to affect your interest rate as well. So ultimately you want to be careful because there are moving parts. There's your credit score, there's your income, where is it coming from? How long have you been able to sustain a certain amount of income from? Your down payment, where that's coming from, how much of a down payment you want to put down. So, but also there's different programs today. So there's down payment assistance programs that are able to help individuals, listen, lenders and everybody, real estate agents, we want to get you into the home. So they're going to try to provide as much programs and assistance as possible in order to get you into the home.
Let's see if she can help us buying a home for prospect.
But I do have a question because the program. So let's say, again, as I told you off air, I've never bought a house, but let's say I want to buy a house. What does a program, what does it do? How does it help?
The down payment assistance program?
For example.
The down payment assistance program, the way that it generally works is that you don't have to put down any money. You wouldn't have to put down any money, but you have to apply for it. And then during the process of you applying for your loan is while you're going through the qualifications in order to get it.
But if he has a good tax return,
good tax return, good credit score and stuff like that. It depends. It really does. It depends on how much you are making. There's always that cutoff there somewhere in there, but also your credit score. So that plays a huge factor. But if it's me and I'm looking at it and you're trying to get into a home and where you're at, you got to make sure that your credit score is at least 600, right? Some people will say 550, but it's about 600.
I'm clear, thank God. I'm way above that. But go ahead.
800. I saw your credit.
Like I said, we're trying to get you into the home, right? So anything as much as possible that we can do in order to get you in there.
You don't have any debt. You're
right?
good.
So, but that's what lenders look at, your debt to income ratio, right? So how much income you have coming in versus what you have going out. And then based on that alone, then they go and they pull your credit report just to see what that looks like, and stuff like that. If you have any collections, if you have anything, late payments, everything is going to be on there. Oh, I helped my mom's friend one time buy the house, buy the car, buy the whatever. Right, you're helping, you're there, you're co-signer, it's on your credit report.
Whoops.
Right, so maybe you personally you're not paying for it or anything like that, but maybe
still
not
signed
it. Right, you signed the dotted line, so technically, legally,
you are.
It's on you.
Okay, so let's pretend that we 3.5%, 3%. $12,000.
Right.
So how much is going to be the monthly payment, and how much money I must make to get approved?
Also too, depending on the area you're looking at, taxes and insurance, right? Depending on the type of loan too, whether you're going to have the PMI, the private mortgage insurance, and stuff like that. So that has to depend because there's different types of home loans. Okay, you have conventional, you have FHA, you have different types of home loans. You have jumbo loans. You have trust me.
Too many.
Right, exactly. So when you're sitting down with somebody, ultimately the goal is like, all right, so for maybe $400,000, you're putting down $12,000 for a home. Let's say your income sitting comfortably $65,000. 65,000.
How is the calculation works? Like 2.5, the amount of the monthly payment, or 3?
So there's a little bit of a breakdown for it, and we can't get too specific into that because we have to run it in the system and stuff. But there is a hand math that you're able to see. Right. Yeah. So when you're looking at this, to be honest, the breakdown is essentially that you're going to have the house payment, and then you're going to have, based on the type of loan that you're going to get. So let's just say conventional for the purpose of, this video, 3.5%. When you're looking at your income, usually debt to income ratio, what you have left, your DTI has to be below 40%. So meaning you have to have 60% of extra money a month, essentially, right? And when they're doing your DTI, they're also taking into consideration what you are paying now for rent, right? So there's
your debt.
Right. There's a lot of different factors, but honestly, with that kind of breakdown, you're probably looking at like a mortgage, depending on your interest rate, depending on what we find. Because I get people all the time that sit down in front of me and they're like, I have nothing, we're great, like we're good to go, things are solid, and then you pull the credit report and you're like, I thought we said we had nothing going on
There's
here.
some loan. Whoops. Don't get my credit report. There's a lot of loans.
But you know what the surprise is? A lot of people are not aware. They're like, what do you mean? They're like, that's wrong. I'm like, I could show you. Like, let me sit down and show you, because
your ex-wife got the loan.
Right. She got the loan. She added you as a co-signer. You said, yeah, sure, just to make her happy, not understanding that affects you. And then if payments aren't made on time, that comes back and that hurts you as well. I let her actually just finish dealing with somebody yesterday. She was like, I have nothing on my credit report. I have all the cash. Like, we should be good to go. And in a loan officer's eyes, it was like the most beautiful situation. We're like, yes, great credit score. She's got the cash. We should be able to go. We pulled the credit, and she's like, yeah, I helped my son-in-law. Like, that was 10 years ago. Well, he's still paying the car, and he hasn't paid the car in 3 weeks. I mean, in 3 months. So now you have late payments. And she's like, yeah, but that's not me. And, so we can technically write a letter depending on how long that they have the loan for, but just understand that all your financial decisions, they do hurt you in the long run.
Whoops.
Right.
Whoops. You can click that, please. All your financial decisions will impact you in a good way or a bad way, essentially, is what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and that's why you want to make sure that when you're sitting down with somebody, that they're giving you the right information, and that they're being clear with you and they're being honest with you. Sometimes when you're sitting down with people, they'll definitely give you the runaround, or they will
like the hide.
Right. They'll paint you this very pretty picture of like, yes, we're going to be able to do it, but it's not realistic. Right. I'm the type of person, like, I never like to say no, and no right now just means not for this moment. Right. No doesn't mean no forever. It just means not at this moment. So we have homework, got to work on A, B, and C, and we're going to come back to the drawing table and see where we're at then.
You see, guys, You can how they can find you, Brianna, if they want, if they need help from you to get a loan.
So I have an Instagram, right? Mortgages with Bree. We're probably going to be changing that a little bit soon, but definitely that would be the page, the revenue. And I have other social media accounts as well that they can find me, ask any questions. To be honest, the way that this works, right? A lot of times the real estate agents, they're the pretty ones, right? They're the ones in the front.
Yeah,
nice cars. Buying the house.
You need to drive a good car, yeah, because I know that
absolutely.
This helps a lot.
Let me tell you something. The real estate agents are front end, but even if you call a real estate agent, I'm ready to get into my house, they're going to be like, okay, perfect. I need you to get a pre-approval. I have a lender. Usually they have their few lenders, right? And they go ahead. You got to get the pre-approval. And while the real estate agent is in the process of finding you your home, we're in the process of breaking down your loan, right? The financial side, the side that makes people nervous. Yeah. So,
so you're the bad guy.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying not to be the bad guy. I'm trying to hold your hand through the process, right? And I want this to be done properly, and I want it to be done as smooth as possible. But if it's me and I'm trying to look into getting into a home, I would definitely sit with a loan officer, like right away, and see that where am I at? Like let's look at your financial
tax return.
Yeah, everything. Let's get the documents together. Even if you're not trying to buy a home at this moment, let's look at it. Let's see what you would even qualify for right now. And with the way that interest rates are, right, we've been getting a lot of different things coming back for the interest rates. Interest rates are going up because we have to somehow combat inflation, right? That beautiful thing, inflation, which is also something that was brought around because, newsflash, free money is not free. Right?
What? Free money's not free.
How did we not know that?
Checks from Biden.
What?
Good job.
Stimulus? I want more. This. I have this child and this here, and printing more money. There was so much money that was printed.
I love the printing money.
Yeah, we love it. But here we are a few years later.
Now's the problem.
Whoops.
Inflation is crazy. You can't go to the
gas. Change your car for electrics.
Gas. Let's talk about the basics. Let's say you have a Tesla and you don't need to worry about gas. Go to the grocery store. Buy 5 things. You're walking out of there like easy $100 like in no time.
It's hard.
So these are things that your everyday families are struggling with. They're not able to get a handle on it, and it's happening right under their eyes. And in their head, my income is not going up, but the cost of everything else is going up, and people are up to their necks. But there's
a friend of mine, I should say, that I know, and right after the stimulus checks, everything, rent went up 3 times.
Yeah.
He was paying $1,500 roughly, and now he's paying like $35. Oh,
yeah.
So there was a point in time where it was actually cheaper to have a home, buy a home, than it was to rent. Right. And that was beautiful for real estate agents because they were able to capitalize on that. Yeah.
How we do this calculation? Because in Brazil it's like that. For example, if you rent a house for $1 million, that costs $1 million, for example, and the rent is 0.5, like 0.5%. And to buy is it's less than rent. Right. It's better you rent.
Right.
Yeah. So how you do this calculation here?
So to be honest, when you're looking at it, what we are seeing in the past and what we have seen in the past is that there was a time when your rent, they're trying to keep up. Also to Florida, Orlando specifically is just such a hot area. Lake Nona is a hot area. Even Kissimmee now is just like when you're right but that's the areas you got to go to now. You're looking.
Oh, hold on. Ooh. What area we should buy now?
Whoops.
What area we should buy now, St. Cloud?
What did I do? What did I just do?
Okay, right after this, we're going to St. Cloud.
Listen, you're looking because you're trying to solve for a lot of land right now. Yeah. If you're looking for land in Orlando and Kissimmee, you're not going to find it.
Good luck.
Right.
Yeah. You're going to have to make it.
Right.
You're going to put it in the clouds.
Right. I don't want to say never. Let me not say never. There's definitely room for opportunity. But, I mean, if you're trying to get a good deal and stuff like that, I mean, that's where people are going now. Davenport, actually, even Davenport. I don't know if you've ever tried to make the journey to Davenport, like even 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's like I'm sitting in traffic. I'm like, wait, who lives in Davenport? When did that become the hotspot?
I used to live there. It's terrible.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that wasn't a hotspot before. That was just oh, wow, you live so far. Now You have to go even beyond that. You're looking at Haines City. You're looking at St. Cloud. You're looking at Claremont, right? Because that's where now, you're going to still get to maintain the beautiful new builds, new constructions, get a good price without the crowding. But this is Florida right now, and we're a hotspot. The next 5 to 10 years, it's going to look like this. And whatever area you're going to is a hotspot. We're a hot state, So, I mean, if you're trying to get away from people, I'm thinking maybe something in Jacksonville, a city no one's ever heard of before, like a farmland or something like that.
Or California. Go to California. People are moving to Florida now. California is cheap right now.
Oh, no, not in comparison to Florida. Yeah. And honestly, the way that their politics are out there, you're going to be suffering a lot more. Their inflation. I mean, you think our gas is bad here? California, you're paying $8 a gallon. Minimum.
Cheap.
Minimum.
Cheap.
Crazy.
Right. Baby change.
It's crazy. Brianna, how are the rates right now? Like,
average is about 7% right now.
7% already?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
So that means that if you put $1 million in the bank, you're not going to have 1.5%, maybe 2% in a year. Mm-hmm. So you're probably looking for like $20,000, something like that?
A little bit, ballparking. Like you're probably going to look for
less.
Yeah, that's ballparking it. But honestly, today, to be honest, actually we just have a lot of new regulations coming up that, just stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned. Okay. Brianna regulation.
Right. So we have a lot of things coming up as lenders, the different things that we can look for in credit score, right? So supposedly, sneak peek, we're not going to post this just yet.
The rumor.
Okay?
Post right now live.
There's a rumor that they're also going to, when it comes to your credit report, they're not only going to look at car payments, but they're going to look at rental. How you've been doing with your rental history, utilities, stuff like that.
Time,
right. That's going to be included in your credit report, and that's going to be able to help you when it comes to buying a home.
Or kill you.
All right. Or kill you, depending on what your financial strategy is, right? So.
God. Now, here's the $1 million question I have for you.
Okay.
Right, this is going to be kind of funny.
$1 million.
$1 million question.
Let me write it down.
Do you own or rent?
Both.
Ay, Carito, she killed you.
She got me. I didn't expect it. She got me.
Yes, actually both. So I actually have 2 properties. One of them is a family home that we have, and then another one is actually like something that we rent out.
Nice.
Renovated and rent out, and I also do rent as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have an apartment as well.
What is the ROI, return of investment, in a rental home? That way we might can buy one if we have $12,000 down payment.
Done.
The rate of investment, so the rate of return is what you're talking about? Like, what is it, like, if you're going to invest, like, what is it that
Let's
you're going to
say $400,000, how much money back we can get in a year with renting, you think?
Oh, now?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Definitely. Now, on a monthly basis, you can probably charge,
20 in Lake Nona, I'm gonna say like there is townhomes for $450. I live in Lake Nona, and now I bought my townhome for $215,000, and now it's $450,000, and the rent is $2,700.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what's the mortgage look like? What was your interest rate?
6%.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
It's not that bad.
Honestly, today the interest rate is not the thing that's like so terribly scary. It's the housing prices being up and inflation being up. That's interest rates going up. To be honest, they've floated between this like 5 to 8%. Like that's pretty much normal. You're looking between 4 to 5 to 8%. Like that's normal. Yeah. But it's the housing prices that's.
You mentioned St. Cloud, so what I did was I did a down payment.
Okay.
In a house in St. Cloud. Mm-hmm. Should I sell my townhome or should I keep it and get the rent and
rent it out? 1,000%.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? If you have a good interest rate, which you do, your housing price is low, you're gonna make money off of it.
You're the one who like taking risk and taking loan on stocks and.
Yeah, but can I cash out, for example, and help for the down payment of the other one?
Yeah, you can. You can pull equity from your home. Absolutely, you can pull equity. Now, the window for doing that is closing. So I would do it. If you're going to make that decision, I would make it soon, because that was something that a lot of people were able to capitalize upon. If you had a home, pull a line of equity.
So you're talking about refinance,
right? Yeah. If you're going to refinance, pull a line of equity from your home, go and reinvest and buy another home, since they're such a great investment right now. But there is a turnaround time, right? So, but if I was going to do it, I'd do it now. Just so you know.
We'll do it. After this show, we're going to do it.
Here's the other $1 million question I have. Where should you not buy?
Where should you not buy?
Not buy.
Listen, I think everywhere is a room for opportunity here in Florida. Yeah. Everywhere. I would buy anywhere, like, to be honest, just because.
That's the correct answer. The politically correct answer.
It's not politically correct. To be honest, when you're looking at what a hot state that we are, we have a large influx of people coming in. No matter where you buy, even if it's right now, not at a hot place, it's going to be. Right?
Yeah,
so
if it's not, it's going to be.
It's absolutely going to be. If you're paying attention to politics in other countries, we have Colombia, right? You're going to have a large influx of people coming in from Colombia, Venezuela. We've seen that in the last 5 years or so. A large influx of people coming in from Venezuela. A lot of people coming in from Haiti. You have
Brazilians, maybe?
A lot?
I don't know. Brazilians love Brazil. Let me tell you, when I sit down with Brazilians, they want to come here, make some good money, and go back home. They love it
because
over
the currency is 5 times, like, bigger there. So like $1 million here is $5 million there. 5 million reais actually. So it's a lot of money.
The same thing in a lot of these countries, especially Colombia.
Yeah.
Colombia, yeah.
The rate is
1,000%. So that's another thing. You'll have people that'll come here to this country, make good money, send money back home. But something that I'm hearing that people are doing, especially in Cuba, is that their government is totally okay with that, with people coming to the States, making money, sending money back, because that's money feeding their economy, feeding their government. But they're going to tax you on that money as well, right? So you're going to have to pay money on to the government in order, and it's crazy, but there's no other options today, right?
Talking about this. Let's say that we have a company. I'm not saying that it's us, but that we like to write off
Somebody has a company.
Because, like we have a lot of costs, a lot of things. So if we don't have a good tax return because we like to write off the things that we use, how can we buy a house if our tax return is not good?
Loan.
Bank statement loan.
Bank statement loan.
So what does that mean?
The bank statement loan is exactly what it sounds like. It is a loan that basically they look at your bank statements for the past few months, and you just need to be able to source where the money's coming from, right? But you don't have to show W-2s. You don't have to show bank. You don't have to show taxes or anything like that. This is somebody like, I have the money, right? I know the last 2 years have been a mess, whatever, but I have the money. This is where the money is coming from. We can get you into a bank statement loan. You're probably going to pay a little bit higher of an interest rate, but you do have to qualify with your credit. So you have to have decent enough credit to qualify there.
There is a way, even if you write off a lot of things, there's a way.
Right, absolutely. There's always a way.
Like she said, they're not there to turn somebody there. They want to get you in the home.
They want to get you into the home as soon as possible. So definitely, if you're somebody that maybe your last 2 years of taxes don't look too great, if you don't want to go back and do the revisions for that, so on and so forth, then a bank statement loan is probably the less messier of the two. You have good credit score, we can source the money, and you're good to go. And honestly, when you have everything, it's a smooth process for sure.
So here's a question for you.
Yes,
As a general rule of thumb, is there like a mortgage amount you shouldn't go over if you make a certain amount of money, like let's just say you make $50,000 a year, should you not go over a certain amount of a house purchase price, if that makes sense?
Well, that will fall into your debt to income ratio. So when you're looking at your debt to income ratio, technically, if you're going above anything that is going to exceed, and this is just on a personal level, anywhere between 40 to like 55%, it becomes unaffordable because you have to factor in things like, you think when you're buying a house, it's not just like renting. I pay my rent, I pay my water, I pay my, whatever else is there, electricity. But you have to do all of that on a much larger level, as well as pay for taxes, pay for insurance, because if you're doing a FHA loan, it's mandatory, right? So I would stay always between the 40 to 55% mark. So if you're looking to get into a home and it's exceeding anything other than that, and expect for those things to also go up. The cost of maintaining a house is going to go up because that's going to factor along into anything with inflation. So you just want to be as prepared as possible for that.
So half of what you make in a year.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Or get out.
Okay. No cash are accepted. Can we buy a $400,000 house in cash?
Yes,
And
yes, you can.
How the IRS will receive this information is a problem?
No, it is not. Actually, a lot of cash offers are coming in right now because people don't want to deal with the interest rates, right? So if you're doing that, then you don't have to worry about that. It's not a problem. And a lot of investors are buying with cash. Cash is king.
Oh,
Right? Cash is king
Kyle
right
likes
now.
to hold some cash at home. What is your address?
Where is it? Under the mattress? Is that where
Actually.
No, the mattress is already small for this. Okay. Yeah, Brianna, let me ask you something here. Like, what is the difference? I received this question from our director, CU, Yanis. So what is the difference between down payment and closing costs?
Okay, so the difference between down payment, your down payment is the money that you're going to be providing up front, and it's going to be factored into the cost of your home. Meaning like, okay, I'm going to buy a home, the loan amount, the cost of the home, let's say is
$400,000.
Yeah, $400,000. But my down payment I have is about $50,000, right? I'm going to put down a down payment of $50K. Then the loan amount that you would need is $350,000, right? So then that's how that kind of works. That's different, and it'll obviously that'll change what your monthly payment is going to look like. That'll change a lot of different things because obviously you're taking away from the home price when you're putting down more money, okay? Your closing costs, when you're sitting down, that's the cost of closing. That's what you're going to basically pay, everybody that's worked on your loan, your processing, stuff like that. And that's a little bit different. And they vary when it comes to percentages as well, depending on who your title company is and all that stuff, that'll change what your closing costs look like. Now, the times that we're in today and the way that the market is shifting, there is also a lot of benefits that you can get as well. Sellers will be more generous when it comes to helping with those things. Even real estate agents will step in from time to time and offer a portion of their commission in order to help with your closing costs and stuff like that.
I didn't have this. I bought 3 months ago on a peak time.
Oh, yeah, no. In peak time, you had to beg, borrow, and plead, okay? It was like, I want to put an offer on this home, but it already has 75 offers. You were able to go and sell a home. Like, you could put a home on the market. Actually, we had looked into selling one of the properties that I had. And like when I tell you the amount of phone calls that you get on a daily basis, like we have a buyer that's willing to pay $100K over asking price, and it's like, whoa, we're just checking this out, crazy. But it was definitely hot market, hot time, but now it's cooling off. We're starting to see the correction that is so desperately needed because inventory was such a huge issue. That was your number one battle, was the inventory. And so
little supply.
Right. Tiny supply, heavy on the demand side. So they're trying to make that type of a correction because it was just a little too ridiculous at that point. So
sounds almost like the car market.
Yeah.
The car market was so low, and now it's hopefully going to start correcting.
Actually, you know what? I was looking at that too, and they were saying, and even if you talk to people that own the dealership and stuff like that, they're looking because they also have another issue too, their supply, right? So during COVID time, they also didn't manufacture as many cars. Right? So now it's catching up to them. And even that's a little ridiculous. I just bought a car back in, when did I buy my car? And I want to say January time. And like when you're going into there, they're like, listen, we have, you drive past certain lots and you see it full and you're like, oh yes, perfect. And it's like half the cars are used, more than half of the cars are used. They're like, we have about 10 new cars here. And just like the housing prices, they can jack up the prices on those things like crazy as well, because it's like, oh, you want a car? This is what it is. And they have something they call it, what do they call it?
They're just, there is a market adjustment.
The market market, it's crazy. I was like, they give you the breakdown, and there's like this cute little thing called market adjustment that adds $10K to your car price. I went to go look at a car, and their market adjustment was $40K on the car.
Opa, nice car, Brianna.
I was like, this thing better drive itself.
We drive a $5,000 car.
Right.
Brianna, market.
That was just the market value. So I was like, okay, sure, let's see. But, you know, when you're looking into that, there was no room for negotiation because if you didn't want it, somebody else did.
Yeah.
Right? So you can go in
like,
and
next,
out. Yeah, it was easy for them. But also that's going to affect them too because they don't have as many cars in production. Yeah. And there was actually even a point where your used car was more valuable than the new cars, right? So that was actually crazy as well.
I used to have a leasing car for the past 3 years. And when I returned the car, the guy was like, you saw the check. And the guy was like, this is the check, almost $9,000 back. You know, like, but I was leasing the car, but the car now worth that.
I had a car. We had a car in our family, and it was not worth what we got it for. Like when we turned it in and they gave us the check, we're like, this car? Are you sure? Yeah. Like, we're sure, right? But it was just so valuable because they just needed more cars to sell. They didn't have anything.
There's nothing.
Right. And it wasn't that it was a bad car. I think they ended up giving back for the car. Simple Honda Civic, right? It was like $21,000 or something like that. They gave back for the car. I was like,
used to be the price for the brand new.
Right, exactly. But because of the way that the market is and what COVID has did, right? So production has slowed down. Yeah. But now one thing that you are going to see and that you are seeing, especially in the luxury line of cars, is that getting your car fixed is like ridiculous.
Oh, price.
Yeah, no, like literally, like if you get into an accident and you're missing parts and stuff like that,
you're gonna take forever.
You're waiting like 4 or 5 months for your car to get fixed. That's
not
like
just
crazy.
The car, man. My garage door broke last week, and I called the garage door. I don't know the name of the company. They were
expert,
like, that is 30 weeks to receive the parts.
Yeah,
and the garage door comes in white. Yeah. They don't even paint for you. No. It's crazy.
It's like I ordered the truck, right? And the guy's like, at the earliest it's going to come in April. But he told me, he's like, there's a guy that ordered a Bronco. Yeah. Because I ordered a Ford Maverick. And he's like, it's going to come. He's like, it took 18 months for his Bronco to arrive.
Yeah.
I'm like, God.
Yeah.
It's like, I did the reservation for the Tesla. The truck.
Yeah.
It's 2 years already. They're going to delay another 2 years. 4 years.
My dad has the Tesla, the truck. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Oh, the new truck? Yeah. The Cyber truck?
Oh, no, not that one. Not that one.
Oh, Brianna.
He's got the, what is it called?
Model Y?
Oh, the
I'm
X.
Such a girl. Model X, yeah.
This is a nice car.
It's beautiful. No, it's beautiful. And with gas prices, like, he knows nothing about that, you know? But then my mom drives the Jaguar, and he's like, oh, yeah, this is the gas prices now. Filling up that car is crazy.
I think the future is that. Electric.
Yeah, actually, in California, that's the route that they're looking to go.
Yeah. But there's a lot of outage over there because of...
I was talking to somebody, I think it was... Leonard, and he was telling me that one of the cars, I think it's a Tesla, they're going to put solar panels in the back. I don't remember what car
I think the future is that. Like, we're not going to be... We will not... Maybe in the future, you will not be needing charging like everything. Yeah. I think it would be...
Solar power.
Solar... I think that sounds like a good idea, but what's the downside to that? What does that look like?
Maybe it takes longer?
Nothing?
Yeah. You can drive for 2,000 miles not stopping in the charger.
Yeah, that's the charging thing. That's what gets me is like having to sit down and charge the car, waiting for the car to charge.
I would tell you, it's like, amazing.
Yeah,
you should change. I mean, you just bought yours.
Yeah, no, I have an Audi, so that thing eats gas like and it likes crazy. The good stuff too, that premium gas, right? And it's like during the hurricane, a lot of people went and got gas, and for whatever reason, everybody wanted the premium gas, even if your car didn't take premium. It's like save the premium for the people that actually need it, right? Because trust me, we want to be like you guys and have regular gas prices, okay? Because premium's also crazy.
$5,000 car, don't use premium gas. Brianna, let me ask you something. It's something that I was thinking. Like, there's people that schedule with you to see a $2 million house, and you know that this guy don't have the money, but they just want to check out all the market.
No, so that's the thing though. That's the point of the pre-approval. right? So when you're sitting down with people, the way that this works is that you could be looking for whatever you want to look for. And that's why real estate agents, before they even take you out to go look at houses, they have you sit down for a pre-approval. You got to get a pre-approval first, right?
No
and
speculation.
Right, exactly. And it's
that's the best part.
You're going to sit down and we're going to tell you, based on what you gave us, there's certain documentation that we need based on what you gave us. This is what you're pre-qualified to get.
So you don't go show up like houses like $2 million for whoever is.
No,
okay,
sir.
guys, don't lose your time. Don't call Brianna.
No. First of all, I also don't show the houses. Whatever my real estate agent decides that they want to do, they want to do that. But most real estate agents, they don't want to do that. They want to sit down. Okay, like I could go to you and be like, Bri, I want a $500,000 house, and I want it to be having so much land, and I want it in this area, and it just sounds so magical and beautiful. But when you sit down and you go through it, you're like, you only qualify for a $200,000 house. Why, as a real estate agent, would I take you out for you to go look at all of these extravagant properties, and at the end of the day, we're not going to be able to get you in there. Yeah. So
imagine if they do the same in Porsche, Ferrari, all the.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
It's over.
There's a pre-qualification first. Don't take a look on a car if you don't have money.
Right.
Show me the money first.
Right.
Show me the money.
They want to sit down and they're like, okay, like, are you in a position? A lot of them really don't even waste their time. And honestly, if you go to a car dealership, they'll tell you, like, you can go walk around and, like, look, you know. But as a salesperson, I'm not going to take you out and whatever, you know, because show me the money, right? Let me see where this is coming from. And then
is a problem, right?
Right.
Show me the money is a problem. Yeah.
Money laundering, maybe?
Bitcoins.
Right. But that's the point. So that's why even things like bank statement loans that you need less money, they do need to see the proof. They need to see the paper trail. Where is it coming from?
Yeah.
I got a nice little deposit in the account for $40,000. Where did that come from? Oh, it was a gift, you know, or it was this. We got to see where it comes from, because you have to avoid things like, part of being the lender is that we have very strict regulations, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I can't be so super specific, because if I sit down and I talk about, you know, and now, you know, when we're sitting down with people, I can give you kind of like an idea, but I can only tell you, and that's why lenders, they don't want to be difficult, but like, what I'm going to tell you that I need from you, and a certain percentage I'm going to quote you, might be different than what I'm going to be able to quote you, depending on what I find in my findings, if that makes sense, right? When I run the official pre-approval.
Everybody's different.
Everybody's different, right? But that's why I really, really recommend sitting down with a loan officer one-on-one, like even before you're ready to buy, even to find out what do you need to buy, even to find out how do I prepare to buy. If you're looking to buy in the next 12 to 24 months, you should be sitting with a loan officer now.
You guys charge for that?
No, absolutely not. Most loan officers don't tell you. You can sit down, you can pull up your system and stuff like that, run a pre-approval and see what you qualify for. Like, absolutely. And then we're able to see, all right, let's go back. You have some homework. We need you to save this certain amount of money. We need you to do this. We need you to do that, you know? So it's a little different. And so, but at the end of the day, I think it's the best thing that you can possibly do, especially with the way that the market is heading right now. And there is time for you to buy. There's absolutely time for you to buy. So you should be sitting with the loan officer like as soon as possible in order to see what your opportunities are.
For example, if you want to buy on a company's name, what do you need? IT number, tax return for this company?
Yes. The same thing that you would need for the person, you need for the company as well, right? So
company.
So like if you have a company and like, you know, there's certain owners on the company, even the company has their own tax returns and stuff like that. And that's another thing that super, super important. If you're looking to buy, make sure you're doing your taxes with the right person. Okay, because if you go to your tax preparer and you are telling them, I want to return, I don't want to pay taxes, I don't want to do this, they're going to make your tax returns look like nothing. Yeah. But when it comes to buying a house, your tax returns can't look like nothing, right?
Or you're done.
Right. So you got to make sure you're getting your taxes done by the right person, and that, you know, tax season is coming around right now. Let your tax preparer know, listen, I am trying to buy a house in the next few years. And yes, depending on what your income is, that's probably going to require you to pay some type of tax, right? And you can't write off everything. So that's
why she look at me like that?
Or you gotta get a bank statement loan, but then you're gonna have to pay. Listen, you're paying somewhere, right? You're paying somewhere for something. So you want to make sure that you're sitting down and you have that clarity of like, okay, what is your taxes disclose, like how much you have in savings, what is your credit score, what does the last 2 years look like, is it consistent income, were you
growing
up,
or not?
right?
Yeah.
And that was something that we had to work through with COVID because a lot of people, were let go because of COVID.
You do for business as well, or just?
Yes, businesses as well.
Yeah.
Commercial, yep.
We're gonna talk.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk.
Which one do you prefer?
I deal a lot more with residential, but commercial is always fun.
But what's fun? What do you mean it's fun?
Well, because honestly, a lot of times they're not playing games. Like if you have somebody that's doing residential, a lot of times it is the cat and mouse game, and you got to go through a little bit before you can get to that point. But commercial, like these are investors, these are serious players, like, and you have to be on top of yourself. Like you have to know what you have to work with the right people. There's no games here. So we're coming here, we're all business. It's about getting the best offer that we can get, and so we're going to see a peak, in my personal opinion, in the next 2 years on commercial, actual real estate. So.
It's time to buy now, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
So, if you're an investor, it's always an opportunity. Right now, we're seeing the shift, right? And I think, believe it or not, a lot of times the government doesn't want you to be a homeowner, right? They want you to stay rented, and houses are selling, okay? Even though you'll see all of the news ads that talk about, the market's cooling off and all of this stuff, and actually they were running the numbers, and it's actually down 24% from last September.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course,
so, but it's not that houses aren't selling. They're just not selling to your everyday people. Investors are coming here and they're swooping it up like crazy. Investors are coming here and buying out whole communities because they understand the power of being an owner versus being a renter. Right? Because as long as you're as a renter, you're at the mercy of whatever it is. Like, right now, rent's high. Rent's super high right now, but you're at the mercy of it. You have no other option. Well, I'd rather be the landlord, right, the owner, and ask you to pay rent on a certain thing, especially if you're buying cash. If you bought the house cash,
that was good.
Game over.
It's game over.
Game over.
You win if you're buying cash.
You said what?
You win if you buy in cash.
Oh yeah, if you're buying cash, you're a winner for sure. But also, like, you're not susceptible to a lot of things. You're just gonna get a lot of upsides. But you have to be careful because renters, there's a large turnover there.
Yeah.
Right, so then you gotta keep that into consideration. There's lots of moving factors. I mean, but at the end of the day, if there's any time, it's right now, and it's understanding that even though you're going through like a downturn, it's a level for opportunity.
So with our final 10 minutes, can we move into insurance?
Ooh,
And see how this kind of works. So
insurance.
You would know better than me, and probably I don't know about him, but at least where can we start with the insurance? So you're going to have home insurance.
You have home insurance.
How does this work?
You have personal insurance. You have life insurance. There's different types of insurance products. Okay. And when it comes down to it, to be honest, I focus specifically on life insurance, right? Okay. I have a lot of men in the room. Men do not like life insurance.
No.
Big shocker there, right?
I will tell you something. I did the life insurance. I think I told you that.
Oh, you put my name on it. Thank you, sir.
No. I put my wife's name. That was the problem. I put my wife's name there, and I bought a motorcycle in the same month. And we were driving on the 417. And I was like, before getting the motorcycle, I was like, it's going to rain today. She was like, no, it's not going to rain. And was the hurricane, something like that. Mm-hmm. And we were in the 417, like 80 miles per hour. And she was playing with me to see who was faster. I'm like, why are you doing that? Because I did the insurance.
Right.
You know what I did? I canceled my insurance on the same day. She was
listen, if your wife brings you coffee, have her taste it first.
Oh,
here you go, honey. Here's the coffee.
Yeah, I canceled. So personal insurance for me anymore. Like you?
I don't have life insurance.
No, listen, when it comes to life insurance, I think it's super, super important because we can sit here and we can talk about houses all day, but honestly, if you're going to be somebody that you're going to have a big portfolio and it's going to be properties, which one of your properties are you actually going to want to liquidate in the chances that you get sick or something happens, right? You're not going to want to liquidate any of your assets. That's what insurance is for. Insurance is literally the transfer of liability from one entity to another. from you to the insurance company. I rather use insurance company money to pay, you know, whatever I have to pay. And now life insurance has completely evolved. Life insurance isn't just like you die and somebody gets money. Yep. Life insurance is if you have a heart attack, if you get sick, if you get ill, if you have a chronic illness or something like that and you can't work for 3-4 months. Imagine going to your employer and saying, hey, I'm going to be out for 3-4 months. I'm not able to do it. They're going to be like, listen, that sucks. We hope that you get better, but we're not going to be able to keep you on payroll.
Yeah.
And I'm going to call you tomorrow and say, I'm out, bro. I need 3 months vacation.
I think they're going to be very happy. If we say, hey, we are out for 3 months. Oh,
3 months.
Every day at the arena. But this is very serious. Like, I mean, this about the sickness. If you get sick,
yes,
it's not about that.
That's good. That's a new thing, I guess. Right?
That is, it's absolutely new. So you have terminal illness, you have chronic illness, which works more like a short-term disability, and then you have critical illness, heart attack, cancer, stroke. I mean, how many people have you known that have gotten sick or had some type of an illness? And you know, as much as you want your health insurance to work, even still, I go to the doctor, I'm healthy, I'm still paying copay.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine if something was actually wrong, right? And then this is an opportunity for you to liquidize your insurance and use that money, because guess what? When you get sick or something happens to you, you can't send your bills a nice little letter. Hey guys, give me a minute. We're trying to get it. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't, right? And so bills still have to get paid, and a lot of times people will lose their houses when they get sick.
Lose house, business, everything.
I'm a firm believer, and you know, we can sit down, we can talk about all different investment strategies, different types of investment, but at the end of the day, you got to lay some type of a foundation, right? Because the house can look beautiful in it, we can renovate it, and it can be like the most gorgeous thing. But if your foundation is spotty, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't, because that house is at risk. You're no longer going to feel safer in that home. I can't tell you how many people will get into a home as a two-income family, and then they can't afford the home anymore because something happens to one income, or somebody dies, or somebody gets sick, which is even worse. I hate to say that, but a lot of times it's more expensive to be sick than it is to die, because if you die, like, you know,
your
that's
recurring
it.
cost.
Right, exactly. But being sick, the medical expenses, the attention, and all of that stuff. So sitting down and working with families, even just to get something that's going to cover those basics, is super, super huge for me, especially since a lot of times it's affordable. Today, you don't have to die in order to use your insurance. So let your wife know that, right? You want to milk
She's not going to be happy.
So, but I will tell you one thing. For men really hate the life insurance. They really, really do. Because statistically, I hate to say it, but you guys die first.
Why? Because the ladies.
Right.
They take you on the motorcycle and knock your ass out. That's what they do.
But because, one, also, two, women, we're different. Like, if something hurts or whatever, you're like, I'm going to go to the doctor. I just want to make sure everything's good. You know, we're just checking. Guys will, like, hurt something, and, you'll complain about it. But at the same time, you're going to be like, no, we're good. Like, I don't need a doctor. Like,
I'm my own
statement.
doctor.
Right.
I hate going to the doctor. I hate it.
You are not the only one.
I hate it.
Listen.
So can I do insurance for him?
But you're going to do insurance for me.
Actually, you can. As a business owner, there's something called a key person employee.
Hey!
Key person.
Write that down. Key person employee. I got to memorize.
Let me tell you what this is. So the key person insurance, right? What that actually does is that if you're an owner of a business and you have somebody that specifically has an important role, that if for whatever reason they're not able to perform, you have to replace them, whatever, they die, pass away. As a business owner, you're losing money because that position brought in money. So as a business owner, you can take out insurance on specific people in your business in order to make sure that, God forbid, something were to happen, that my business is still not going to suffer a financial loss from
very important.
Right.
Let's clip that, because this is very important. I didn't know that this existed.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It makes
that was
sense.
Like a joke to me, but that's actually crazy. It's
and honestly, too, something like
if I die, you die.
If I die, you die.
Everybody die.
If something happens to one, it's going to affect the others, is it not?
No,
right?
completely.
So you want to make sure that you're insuring your key people.
So that's through the business, I'm assuming, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Is this write-off?
Absolutely, yes, it is. It is, if you're paying for it.
How much can cost an insurance like that?
So it depends how many people you're trying to insure. Okay.
Kyle.
Also, honestly, to be honest, and depending on the type of insurance, if you're just trying to get... Do we have a valuable player in the room? Is that what it is?
And he won't insure me.
You got me first.
Listen, all right. I'm not going to be involved in who gets who the coffee.
Let's use the example. Let's say you want to insure one person.
One person. It's funny, but it's true.
It depends on your age and your health. But a lot of times, if you're going to do a group plan,
56 years old.
28.
Sorry, I'm just
28.
20.
Let's say, okay, all right, my prime market is like between 30 to 40 years old, right? Let's say you're going to do something temporary. You're looking at like $40-$50. Like
done.
Yeah, a month. Like for peace of mind.
Done. $40.
With living benefits. So like if something were to happen to him, let's say he gets hurt somewhere, chronically ill, you'd be surprised. It's super important. Just
like I get in a car accident.
Yeah, you get in a car accident, and what happens? You lose a leg
you have
something. Yeah.
Okay. The way that chronic illness works is that if you can't do 2 of the 6 daily living activities for 3 consecutive months for 90 days, okay? So that means like showering, getting dressed, eating. You need somebody to help you, right? If you qualify under that, your insurance can actually start paying you an income.
And for this $40 a month, how much are they going to pay me? Just to see what...
It depends on the severity of his condition, right? Or let's say, knock on wood. This is not wood. Wherever wood is, okay. But when you're looking at it, to be honest, if he passes away and something happens, depending on the face amount, this $40 is probably for about $250,000, $300,000. Right, you would get that as the business owner.
Not enough.
We need to raise this.
Need 10 million.
You know what the rule of thumb is with insurance? They look at your debt, you look at your income, you look at if you have a mortgage or if you're renting, and if you have children, education. Right, you factor that into there.
How much you produce, because they're not going to pay you.
And you do that breakdown, multiply it times 10, that's how much insurance you need. So even if you have insurance, a lot of people are underinsured. So imagine thinking that I have peace of mind. You don't actually have peace of mind because it's not enough. And especially today, you'll go through the money just like that. It's like nothing.
So I guess we're going to be coming to see her relatively soon to figure this out.
Oh, yeah. we definitely need a meeting for that, to buy a home for the company.
Yes.
This for me, that worked the whole thing, like the key people that work for you. These guys, pay attention on that. If you're a new business owner, this is very important, because we have some leaders that helps the business to grow. And definitely, I mean, we are joking here, but we are very important for the business as well. The whole staff, the whole group that help us.
Yeah, and honestly, but that's the point of insurance, is that you want to make sure first and foremost that when you're insuring your people, like, you don't want this place to suffer. You don't want your hard work. And that's why I believe so much in insurance, because I can believe in all the other investments there is. I can believe in real estate. You can believe in stocks. You can believe in all that. But which one of those things are you okay to give up because you don't have insurance, and now you have to liquidate one of your investments in order to pay and sustain just even for your life? I don't know if you even know, but because of what COVID has done in the last few years, like, even the medical side of things of insurance is ridiculous.
And this is a lunch. It's a lunch per month.
Yeah,
it's less than a lunch per month.
It's literally nothing for peace of mind. Yeah. Right. And actually, it's sad. I just had a friend who, her brother, 23 years old, just passed away. But 2 months before he passed away, he got an insurance for investment purposes, but it is insurance still.
He qualified for
$300,000. Wow. Yeah, with insurance, it's different. With real estate, you got to qualify with your financial background. With insurance, you got to qualify with your health background. So now we got to look at your health.
Last question for you. So we just opened up a nonprofit.
Okay.
So can you do the same type of stuff under the nonprofit? Because what we're doing is we're supporting underprivileged kids. So we're doing classes for free twice a week at least.
I love that. Yeah.
And I'm just curious if you could implement the same process under a nonprofit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, you can. Any type of business structure, it doesn't really matter. You don't even have to have an official business structure. Right? What you could open the door to is just the education of what insurance can do, the education of getting the proper financial foundation before you go to that point. We can sit here and I can tell you, buy the house, get the stocks, get the crypto, the Bitcoin. I want you to go ahead and get all of that. Which coin's the best right now? Right. And we can go through that whole process, but honestly, you're not going to have peace of mind. All of it is a risk. Any of it can be liquidated depending on what is it that you need if you get sick, if you can't pay for it anymore, right? So I see way more than anything surprisingly, you would think, but because people don't have that kind of knowledge. And there's different types of insurance as well. There's insurance that is just like plain, like, for example, I just bought a home, my mortgage is 30 years, I can get a 30-year mortgage that'll cover the cost of my home. God forbid something happens to me, the home is covered. Or you can get insurance that you can actually use for investments tax-free. Tax-free.
Tax-free. This is the key word.
Yes.
Guys, I think we need to do episode 2 with Brianna. Yeah, but thank you so much, Brianna. That was very interesting. A lot of good things. I learned a lot on this episode.
That's actually good.
Yeah?
Very good.
I hope
I told you guys at the start, I said, going to learn a lot today.
Yeah, you want to say something?
Closing statement?
Closing statement.
Yes.
Nice
Okay.
word.
So my closing statement for everybody is just hang tight. I mean, in the market that we're living in today, there's a lot up in the air, but don't pay attention so much to the media. Get down to the nitty gritty. Sit down and see where you're at. There's always room for opportunity and capitalize. Do not be worried about what's happening today. Like innovation is going to be your best partner. So I'm happy and excited to get to work with people that are in that headspace. So let's do it. Let's make something happen.
She's only 27 years old.
Innovation.
Right,
Thank you so much, Brianna.
Thank you.
Appreciate it and see you on the next episode.
Be back.
Thank you, guys.